Hello everybody, and welcome to this little art video where I'm going to be trying the Winsor Newton marker paper for the first time. This is my cat Percy, who likes to be with me always and likes to be in the spotlight as well. So you might be seeing more of him throughout this video as well. Right now he's just making his way over my desk. Take your time. It's not like I'm in a rush or anything. I have never tried marker paper before, so this is going to be quite interesting. Actually, most of my work is digital these days, but I do dabble with markers every once in a while. Before we start drawing and stuff, I'm just going to have a little look-see at the paper. And yeah, it's actually a lot thinner than I thought it would be. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's got kind of the thin paper sound going into it. It feels thinner than printer paper. So I'm very curious to see how this is like marker proof or bleed proof or anything, because it's super thin. Wow. So before we go ahead and just draw, I'm just gonna do some marker tests. Alright, so it seems to be taking the marker fairly well. As you can see, there's no purling going on here. The surface of the paper is in really good shape. It's very much intact. So the big reveal is, though, has it bled through? No, it has. Oh, actually, yes, it has. Those little green specks are bleed through from the turquoise marker that I used. So it is not 100% marker proof. So if you draw on top of this and you're doing thick layers or several layers of marker, then you're going to have some bleed through, unfortunately, which is sad. But I will say that the paper quality, like the texture of the surface of the paper, held up pretty well. It didn't purl, which is something I hate when you do markers, is when the paper starts to purl and chip away and you get like this rough, uneven texture. It can very often ruin the colors. So because I don't necessarily do very well with drawing on a deadline, or drawing in front of others all the time, this is something I'm working on improving upon. I have gone ahead and sketched up a drawing in advance and transferred it to marker paper with pencil. So I'm gonna go over it with some ink liner, and then I'm gonna color it. And the piece we're doing today will be this lovely lady. This is Aisling, a DnD character created and belonging to the cosplayer that you might know and love called Ginny D. She plays this character in her D&D campaign with her friends. I did ask Ginny D in advance if that would be okay for me to use her character in one of my videos, and she said that was perfectly fine. Go ahead, do it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. All right, so before we start coloring this, I'm just going to check my color spread so I can choose the right colors for this drawing, because I want very pale greens and some soft pinks, and Aisling also has brown eyes, I think. Based on what I have on my sheet here, I would say that meadow green, apple green, bright green, and lush green are the best like 4 colors for this project. And then for the pink like flowers and stuff, I think I would go with pink pearl and rose pink. Those are 2 very gentle pinks. Might also try pink fuchsia, we'll see. And Aisling is also very pale, so we're gonna go with a pale complexion. So I think that her base skin color could be this blush color, and with some soft peach and maybe some coral, just to brighten it up a bit and give her some contrasts. And then for browns, I'll see what we're feeling, but burnt sienna and praline, these two might be a good choice for that. So, but we'll see where we end up. Let's go into the coloring, shall we? Ooh, I nearly knocked my glass of soda over. That would have been so bad. It would have been soda all over this desk. And oh yeah, we need to just check how well my ink reacts with the markers. Because sometimes when you color over pigment liner, the pigment liner bleeds. And you get this streaky or muddled effect in your drawing. We don't want that, especially when we're working with such bright colors. So I'm just gonna test out a few different ones, and I'm just gonna go over it with a color and see if any of them bleed. All right, so you can see that there. So, not with the chisel though. Huh. Didn't expect that. Did not. So these Staedtler pigment liners, which are actually rather expensive, they do bleed. Even though it says that they are waterproof pigment liners, I guess they're not alcohol proof because there is definitely alcohol in these markers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this very inexpensive pen from Hema, which is like an office supply store. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's do some work on the lovely Aisling. So as I said, I'm going to go over it with liner, and I'm going to start with the face, because if you fuck up the face, then the rest of the drawing is fucked anyway, and I don't want to do a whole lot of work on everything else if I don't get the face right. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And also, are you the kind of person that uses sketchbooks? I've never been very good at keeping sketchbooks just because I like to have images that are easy to scan, so I'm always constantly just working on printer paper, sketching on printer paper. And I know that that's like sacrilege to some people. Sacrilege! But I like it. It's been a while since I drew someone else's D&D character, but that's kind of what I did in my very formative teenage years. Was my favorite thing to do was to draw my friends' D&D characters, because I used to play D&D when I was a kid, and I still do, but I don't play with the same people that I used to play with anymore, because I moved, and you know, people grow up, they get lives and things, which was a lot of fun. I got a lot of practice that way. And so I've kind of missed drawing characters for people, because it's so fun to learn about backstories and try to like capture a character's unique essence in a picture, you know? Gosh, D&D has been in my life forever. I started playing when I was like 14 or 15, I don't exactly remember. But I have been playing RPGs on and off for at least 15 years. There, so that is our line art finished. Oh, lovely. Let's start with her face, because as I mentioned earlier, if you ruin the face, you ruin everything else. So I think I'm gonna go in with the color Blush as my base color. So I had these two white pens here, or one is a gel pen, like a roller pen, and the other is more of a brush pen from Faber-Castell. So this one gives a very subtle white line that it's kind of like, you know, organic and can be varied in thickness. Whereas the gel pen gives a little bit more control and is very good for like small details. So I think I'll just be switching in between these to put in highlights where I need to put them. There we are. Now I still think that the hair could use a little bit more contrast. Like it's still a little bit flat, but I'm also very afraid of going too dark. But let's try. Actually, I think I'm gonna try to add some pebble blue to her hair and just see how that looks. See if we can't put in some nice shadows.
Alright, so this is the finished drawing. Based on my experience with the marker paper, I would say that it is very pleasant to draw on, and the colors come out really nice. It doesn't purl, and it generally doesn't bleed through either unless you layer on the color really thickly and really heavily. So all in all, it's a good experience. As you can see, I have retouched her a little bit digitally just because there were some little mistakes in the certain angles of the nose that I noticed once I finished the drawing, and I also added a little bit of background foliage just for some visual interest. But beyond that, the colors and all the details are pretty much the same as in the original drawing. Hope you like it. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. And if you like what you saw and you would like to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon so you'll be notified whenever we upload new videos.